testing side, there was this issue with the dashboard. I guess the dashboard is fixed at this point, but Erigon isn't yet being run. Yeah, Marcos, could you explain why?
Yeah, basically there is an issue on the config on Erigon, and Igor is already looking at it. And in the case of Nethermind, we are failing some of the test cases, and I will look on it during the rest of the week because I was traveling in the start of the week, so I didn't have too much time to work on it.
All right. I guess that we will talk about next time then. So last week we talked about the IP 7002 regarding like some research to check how much it would cost and if we want to adopt the contract or not. That is still ongoing, so no updates on this side. For Shudder, so we have this DApp kind of ready now to post. Well, so at that point you can put a signed transaction and then we'll encrypt it and post it to the Shudder sequencer contract. But we can't get transactions through, presumably because the validator might not be running, or because the transactions are somehow malformed. Is Mark here? No, he's not here actually. So okay.
Yeah, he provided me his update because he couldn't join, and basically he said that he applied changes by a review from Anders, and right now he's pushing to run this code on Shadow and some of Gnosis validators potentially. So yeah, he's working on testing side, let's say, or pushing the testing.
Okay.
What I know from him.
Then I will try to get in touch with him on Telegram. I guess that's like, are there any news regarding the high CPU usage and the issue when there's too many transactions?
With Shutter?
Yes. Well, for Nethermind.
Sorry, you need to ask Mark directly about this.
Okay, I will get in touch with him then. All right, then let's move on to client updates. Nethermind, do you have any news?
Yeah, so we are still we hit some issues with this new version, and unfortunately we couldn't release the final version. So after a release candidate, we are still trying to fix those issues. This is the version with this super high block processing time. Other than that, we have Dimitro here. Dimitro joined us as a new QA, and he will be working together with Igor, I guess, from about it's the discussion about this Ethereum tests, bringing them to Gnosis. So please welcome Dimitro, and Dimitro, could you maybe introduce yourself?
Yeah, good morning all. My name is Dmitro. I am from Ukraine. You can call me Dima if you want. So in test automation, I'm mostly about 10 years. I worked on different projects. Haven't chance to work with blockchain yet. So maybe I will need a couple of days to figure out these beautiful things you create here. Yeah, that's pretty it from my side.
Awesome. Welcome, and yeah, let's build some cool stuff together, I guess.
Thanks.
Anything else for Nethermind?
And yeah, we are keep working on Spectra. I think we have most of the changes under review right now, and only 7.7.02 is still work in progress, not in PR. So yeah, I think that's the most interesting updates from our side. And we are kind of exploring for force. Yeah, we will think about our blocks export and import. Yeah, that's all.
Awesome. Erigon, any news?
Sorry, nothing specific.
Got it. Geth, Guillaume?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I had COVID last week, but I'm finally recovered. So not much progress until today. I'm still working on Shadow, trying to get the proper Genesis block. So what happens is that unlike Erigon and Nethermind, Geth does not support, like the stock Geth does not support creating calling some contract like the constructor to actually fill in the code. So I'm trying to implement that. It's quite different from Erigon. I managed to create the first 4 contracts in the file, and I get a revert in for the 5th one. I'm trying to debug that. I tried to use a Nethermind node to trace it, but unfortunately you can't trace the Genesis block. At least I haven't been able to make it work. So I have actually 2 questions. One for Somnat: is it possible to trace the Genesis block with Erigon? Or Nethermind, same question actually. Otherwise, all I have to do is try to hack the tracing inside the block creation.
Do you need to trace it through RPC, or how exactly you would like to?
I mean, I'm happy with any method as long as I can trace the execution of the constructor.
Okay, but have you tried, for example, debug, trace, block in Nethermind?
Debug, trace, block. Yes, this one, and I get a stack trace. I get a C# stack trace. I can send it to you on the channel after this call.
Maybe, okay. So we can take a look what happened. And do you have? It's Shadow, right?
It's Shadow, yeah.
Okay. So let us take a look on that. Maybe it's something easy to fix.
Well, if it's easy, that would be awesome. Yeah, so that's pretty much where I am, and then the next step, of course, once I manage to get the Genesis block, the correct Genesis block hash, is to snap sync from any Nethermind node. So I would have to figure out which are the Shadow, or I mean Nethermind or Erigon, doesn't really matter, but I need a Shadow boot node. Yeah, and otherwise I had another question, but that was about validating on mainnet with Geth. Was it tested, like who tested this, and what was the exact problem?
I was the one who initially tested Geth on mainnet. But I don't know about I don't know about the exact problem, to be honest. And I'm not running this anymore. I should probably do it again.
Yeah, I mean the whole point of doing Shadow, I mean, apart from being able to support the testnet, is to debug that. But I was just curious what the error would be. Okay, well, if you can make it happen again, I'd be interested. Otherwise, yeah, we'll get there when Shadow is up. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, regarding the constructor, could we just not use it? Like, can we just execute the current Genesis and then convert the resulting state into just a bunch of log statements with code and storages?
Yeah, so I thought of that. Just extract the code from any client that has constructor and just put it directly. What I don't know for sure is if those constructors actually initialize any part of the storage with anything, and if that's the case,
yes,
then unless I know what the storage slots are, unless there's actually a list that I can go and grab and copy. I can't really figure this out.
But can Nethermind or Erigon just export their StateDB at block 0?
They could, but then I need to know how to. I mean, yes, like if they do a dump with in JSON, for example, yes, I could totally reuse that. Absolutely.
Because I can give some feedback, some background on why we were using this. So my guess is that the original PostDAO contracts had a significant amount of permissions on every one of the contracts. So setting that up manually is a pain in the ass, and I haven't proven that, but probably some of the storage slots are mappings of some address to something. So imagine that you have a DevNet where you want to test a PostDAO set of contracts with address 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In order for you to pre-compute that ahead of time, it's really hard because you have to somehow compute all these storage slots and understand like the patterns of the contracts, and it's like a huge mess. And from what I understand is that the way that the testing worked in the PostDAO tests is that these addresses were dynamic. So that's why they need constructors, because they want this initial set of like permission state baked into the contracts to be dynamic. However, Chiado is the genesis. It's never going to change. So there is no reason for that to be dynamic. We can just compute it and forget about it. And from now on, we don't want to test for any future testnet that we do. We don't care about these addresses anymore. We can just use the same that we have been using forever, compute the genesis once, and then never do the constructor ever again. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love that. Yeah, I just need an expert. I mean, that otherwise I have to go and debug Erigon line by line and try to write it down, which is going to be a pain. But if there's an easy way to get it extracted for me in JSON format, then that would save me a lot of time indeed.
Yeah, I think there's I'm sorry, there must be a trace API that gives you the state diff block by block. In Erigon, I think it's specific to Erigon. I'll check and let you know.
So maybe it will be easier if someone from Nethermind could give us these Genesis storage slots for Chiado and the canonical DevNet that we have used in the last DevNets, and that would be it. Then we forget about it.
Yeah, okay, either way, but yeah, if someone could get back to me, that would be great already.
Yeah, so not a problem. But if Guillaume, you can check if in Erigon tracing works for you, because it will be needed as well. But otherwise, it would be good to fix this edge case that you had with tracing Genesis. And if you won't be able to extract this info from Erigon node with RPC, let us know, so we will prepare this for you. Sounds good?
Thank you. Yep, thanks everyone.
Yeah, for the node person, it would be for Chiado and DevNet.
All right, so we just need to translate configs to not use constructors anymore and go in this way. So we can even translate our Nethermind config, not Nethermind chain spec, to use a version without constructor and see how it goes.
Yep.
Okay, sounds cool.
Well, I guess just to be sure, the only caveat with this is we will not be able to change the owner of the PostDAO contracts, which I think is only relevant for the block reward, which controls the breach. But the addresses for Chiado, they are already set. They should be secured, and they are. And for the DevNet, we don't care. They are actually not public, but if whoever wants to find them, they can find them. So I think that's fine. But just to reiterate that we are okay with this. Cool. Thumbs up. Okay, let's do it.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, I guess that's it for Geth. Do you want to give a quick update on Wrath?
Yeah, sure. So most of the logic is implemented. And what I was trying to do now is run devnet local with Nethermind and Geth, at least. So either run a devnet or, even better, just run Nethermind with a script so I can produce blocks with the type of transactions I want to have some sort of test vector, and then from that run Geth and have like some sort of like custom built Hive, or sorry, Ethereum/tests, and until that comes around, and just, I don't know, go step by step and see what happens if things work. I guess that, Guillaume, now that you're here, I'm not doing what you told me to do. So I'm taking shortcut. I'm not implementing Aura pre-merge. So I think it's worth giving it a try, because if that works, then a lot of work would be saved.
That's exactly what I thought 2 years ago, but by all means, go ahead, give it a try. I just don't understand how that would even work with Geth, because you need to replay all the blocks. You need to make some kind of full sync. So how are you going to get the final state if you don't implement Aura?
They have a snapshot system very similar to Erigon. So we will have to export the state from some of you guys, compute the snapshot, and then seed the Geth nodes with that snapshot that's post-merge.
But if it's like Erigon, then the snapshots don't contain state.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
The state is not there in the snapshots for what Red uses at the moment. It's only historical blocks and transactions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not
So
a Red developer. That's what they told me.
Now, so the only way you could be able to do that is by actually building the database manually, because unlike Nethermind or Geth snapshots, the actual entire state tree is not exported through the snapshots, but is rather calculated by re-executing all the blocks from the genesis. But the difference is that the blocks are, gathered quickly because they are already there in those snapshots. And that's how it works. So you would still have to rely on your pre-merge execution with red. So you would have to go for Aura still. So currently with red, it's not going to be possible unless they are not following the Erigon 2 model.
So their snapshot includes state. I can post a link in Gnosis core devs. So JSON file with state dumped must contain accounts. So it's kind of a genesis.
Yeah, so that would be a hack. Yeah, so with that hack, it's possible. So you would have to do it manually because the node would not be able to do it by itself, is what I'm saying.
I mean, in any case, if you can get it to work, that's great. I know I tried this approach. I wasted a year over this. But if Geth might be more amenable than Geth on this kind of approach, so by all means, yeah, so, I'm not offended if that's if that was the question.
No, I'm actually asking and trusting the experts here, because I don't know anything about this. So what was in your case the blocker that made this path fail or impossible to progress?
I mean, impossible, probably not, but such a time-consuming thing. Well, the vast amount of data, right? Which means that to be able to do a test, it would take me like maybe 30 minutes to an hour to import each time. And then every time I forgot one item, the snapshot system would not be able to recover, and because of that, basically, I would spend like 45 minutes to an hour waiting for something to import, realize it doesn't work, and so on. And ultimately, I spent so much time digging into the code to see which piece I was missing that it ended up being faster just porting the Aura code back to Geth. Like I did it in 2 weeks compared to trying to get it to work, which took over a year. Yeah, so in my view, that was a shortcut that turned out to be the way, be the longer path. But yeah, like I said, maybe Reth has a better turnaround time. Maybe Reth has a better snapshot
2 weeks doesn't
management.
sound too bad.
No, 2 weeks doesn't sound too bad indeed.
Yeah, that's not too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also the code is already in Go and all of that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I still had to do some translation from the Erigon system back into Geth system, which is what took the most time. It was just, I mean, it wasn't a complete copy paste, so you could do the same thing in Rust, and in fact, the original Aura code is written in Rust, so you could even, you could even take that and drop it into Reth.
I guess.
But yeah.
So the problem is pre-merge. The block has extra fields.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's basically the extra fields, a bunch of system calls.
The extra field in the block, you mean?
Yeah, like pre-merge.
No, it's not a bunch of system calls. It's just okay. Sorry, system calls as in calling the contract. No, it's not like that. It's more like connected to the way the consensus works. It's just replacing one field to the other. So the way it's hacked in Geth and in Erigon, if I'm not mistaken, it's taken at the serialization step. Like you just replace one field that is not used for Aura with another field that is used by Aura, and when the merge happens, you get rid of that.
Okay, I'll look into it. But yeah, that's a good point. Like for Erigon, you guys use torrent to download the snapshots?
Yeah, BitTorrent, yeah.
So I will guess, yeah, Reth doesn't have that implemented, probably. Or do they? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll check with them.
Okay. So maybe full sync in Reth then. Let's see. All right, Gateway, do you have any updates?
So we're preparing migration. It's going to happen during this week. So the deadline is 23rd. So
Awesome.
I hope in coming couple of days we will switch to new cluster.
Sounds good. All right. Anything else to discuss? Well, then thanks for joining and see you next week.
See ya.
All right, bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.